All right, hello everyone. Going to show you how to change values over time using the line object, which can let you make smooth ramps for changing something. I'm going to work with changing tempo for this one. So what I need is I'm going to set up a floating point input into this attribute inspector. If I change it, that changes the tempo. Well, my thing's kind of slow. Okay. Now, going to add the line object. So it generates a timed ramp. Hook that up. What it expects is a pair of values or values in pairs that specifies a target to go to and a period of time to go to that target. So let's say I'll type a message and I want to go to 140 beats per minute over 1 second, 1,000 milliseconds. Now, line doesn't have any other values in it to know, so it didn't know what tempo we were playing at, and it went all the way down to 0 to do this. Again, another message that says go to 80 beats a minute over 2,000 milliseconds or 2 seconds. Move these over. So now I'm playing again. So line remembered it was at 80. Remembers its last value. I can go up to 140 now from 80. And it just keeps ramping back and forth. It generates at a certain interval. It's smooth enough that you can use it if you say you want to do like a gradual speed up or slow down over time. I'm going to move these two things up. You're not limited to one pair of values per message. So since I'm starting at 80, I'll go ahead and make a message that says I'm going to 140 over 1,000 milliseconds. And I'm using floating point for the numbers so that if I get fractional values, line will use them as it outputs. Now I'm just going to make another space and I'm going to add my 80 as a tempo target and 2,000 as a time to get there. So essentially this message is the same as if I clicked on this message and then this message immediately when line finished. Start the transport. So it's sped up and slowed down just as if I did that. One thing I should point out, and I'm not going to do anything with it right now, but line will send a bang message out the right when it's done. So if I ramp up to 140, when it's done with this ramp, sends a bang. Down to 80, bang. If I do together, it won't send the bang message until it's done both ramp segments. Sends the bang. The final thing, just to stick with simple stuff, as I mentioned that first time around, it didn't have any memory of where it was at. So the 140, going to 140 started at 0. There may be things you want to do where no matter what has happened, I want it to go immediately to a value and then change from that value. So add a message. I'm going to add the target value followed by a comma. So I want it to go to 140 immediately. When I put the comma in, that says there is no time. Jump to 140 immediately as my output. Then go to 80 over, in this case, let's make it 3,000 milliseconds, and then back up to 140 over 1,500 milliseconds. I'm going to hook that in. So what we'll see, I'm at 80 right now. I'm going to start that. When I click on this message, I'll get an immediate jump to 140, which I'll hear as the tempo change. Then it'll start slowing down over 3 seconds to 80, 3,000 milliseconds. And when it's finished, it will start speeding back to 140 over 1,500 milliseconds or a second and a half. Here we go. So it did the whole thing. I'll jump back down to 80 and do it again. And the 140 happens so fast that you don't really see it, but it starts decreasing from 140 right away. It does make the jump. Right, so some different ways of controlling things over time, speeding up, slowing down. I can do the same thing with velocity. Type the line. And I'm going to type a message for 127. I'm going to change this to a float. Then I'm going to add some other messages. So say I want to go down to 50 over second and a half. And I'll hook up another one, create another one that says 127 over the same time period. Actually, make it longer. Let's make it twice as long. So these are just going to give me crescendos and decrescendos, depending on where I'm at. So I'm going to get softer over time. And then ladder. Right. So that gives me a couple ways of using line. Anything that can change with a number value over time can receive the output of a line. So I'm going to stop there. Thanks.